Between 1975 and 1980, one man brought widespread fear to the people of the north of England. The attacks were sadistic and violent and led to the largest manhunt the police have ever faced. The man behind the crimes became known as the Yorkshire Ripper.
Hello, sweetie, it's Pete here. How are you, love?
I'm fine, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
You been out today?
Yeah, but it's awful weather.
Oh, it's nice here.
Windy and everything.
Well, you know what they say, don't you, about March? Comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb.
Yeah.
It was unanimous that I was suffering with schizophrenia. Because after all, the prosecution were on my side and the defence.
Yeah.
The doctors. And it's their opinion that it should count, you know.
Yeah.
The judge overturned it. Who was he to turn it over?
Don't know.
Just because he had the power to do it, because he was a judge, he was just an ignorant slob, you know. 79 Manor Road we lived at. That's where we lived till I was 13. And then when I was 14 and a half, Carl was born. But I was the eldest, so when he was born, I more or less brought him up, you know. Well, I told you when I had that motorcycle accident in 1965, it split all my helmet and knocked my head in at one side.
Yeah.
Really bad concussion I had. I was unconscious for 2 days, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I should have gone to hospital, really. I woke up 2 days later and my mum says, "Are you all right?" She said, "I was thinking of calling an ambulance. I couldn't wake you up." Well, my first attack wasn't until 1969. It was that clumsy attack with the sock with the pedals in, you know. She didn't press charges because her husband had done exactly the same thing to somebody else. So she was a prostitute, but she wouldn't press charges. She wasn't injured, you know. The sock burst and all the pedals went over some cars. Somebody saw it and took Trevor's number plate when I got into his car, you know. She didn't press charges, you see. But that shows that it was just the first attack very amateurish, and I had to be more careful and more specific after that.
In Leeds in October 1975, luck ran out for Ripper victim number 1. Body identified as that of 28-year-old divorcee Wilma McCann, found 150 yards from the council house where she'd lived with her 4 children.
The first one I actually killed was in 1975. Wilma McCann was the first one. That necrophilia, that's making love to dead people or something, you know?
Yeah, it says the Yorkshire Ripper was a necrophiliac who masturbated over corpses
What a load of rubbish.
and got sexual kicks from the bodies.
No one even dream of it, you know.
No.
What's the point? These people are really sick. There was nothing sexual in my crimes. They just make you sick. These people are sick. They are really sick themselves to writing stuff like that, you know. Because they think they can make money and sell books. That's all they're interested in. They don't care a damn about the truth.
After another 9 weeks came Ripper victim number 5. This time it was 16-year-old shop assistant Jane MacDonald, mistaken for a prostitute when she took a shortcut home from a disco through the red light area of Leeds.
Did you have a lot of regrets when you killed Jane MacDonald, a 16-year-old?
Yes, I did, yeah. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sadly, you know.
This time it was 16-year-old shop assistant Jane MacDonald, mistaken for a prostitute when she took a shortcut home from a disco through the red light area of Leeds.
I didn't believe that she wasn't a prostitute. I thought she was in the red light area at that time of night, you know, walking slowly and that, you know. And 1 or 2 cars were flashing the lights at her as well, you know, so... What was she doing at 1:30 in the morning in a prostitute area? And I didn't know how old she was, I had no idea, you know.
Until this...
I did feel it later on when I convinced myself that she hadn't been a prostitute, you know. And I just got a letter from Daniel Brown, my friend in Newcastle. He sent 20 quid for breakfast.
All right.
So that was good of him. These gestures, they mean a lot, you know. Daniel Brown. Yeah, I write to him every week. You know, he's just a hard-working family man. It's just the way he talks and everything. You can see how sincere he is. He's got 3 kids, you know. They all call me Uncle Peter and everything. Oh, he's a lovely lad. He's Daniel. He's 37. He's a really good friend, you know. He's very reliable. He's very discreet, you know. He did ask for a handprint once. On a sheet of paper, handprint, you know, where you draw around your hand. They send their print to me.
Right.
Ask if I could send mine, you know. Got another 2 letters from America, strangers. One of them's one of them cheerleaders, you know. She wrote, says she's a cheerleader teacher, but she said she'll send some photographs.
And like to write back to them.
I like to people in Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, you know, because there isn't any more of them Harry Potters.
No, there isn't, no.
I put them on people's letters who've got kids because they love them Harry Potter stickers, but
Yeah.
they only had them for a certain amount of time, didn't they? I told her, look, I said, let's face up to it. It's flattering for a 27-year-old to want to marry a 73-year-old man, you know.
Yeah.
I said, but, you know, where's the sense in that, really? You know, you've got all your life in front of you.
Yeah.
She was signing herself Crystal Marie Sutcliffe. You know, she had a really this kind of a fascination, you know.
Yeah.
She got carried away, and in the end she was saying, oh, I love you like crazy, and my wife she was putting on the letters MWAAA. Anyway, sweetheart, I really miss you, I do. I think the world of you. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
My number 1 angel. Okay, well, look, baby kings, I'm going to have to go because there's a few waiting. And
All right.
I'm right with you in spirit.
All right.
I wish I was on the doorstep.
I know, yeah.
Take care. God bless you, sweetheart. Bye-bye for now, love. Bye.
At the Yorkshire incident rooms, there is also concern about 2 more prostitutes missing from their usual haunts in Leeds. 2 more people to keep tabs on in Britain's longest-running, fully active murder inquiry. So far, police have interviewed no less than 50,000 people, taken 12,000 statements. And still, the police can't get all the help they need from the people who inhabit the twilight world of prostitution.
Tracy Brown is one of these surviving victims.
I saw this Tracy Brown. She didn't look 15. She looked about 19 or 20. You know, she all dressed up. And she was walking slowly up this lane. I thought, oh, you know, she's probably one of these prostitutes. Because I had it in my mind that the Silsden must be full of prostitutes. I hit her with a branch or something, threw her over a wall. And I climbed over the wall, and I was thinking of bumping her off, and this voice said, stop, it's a mistake. I said, oh, I'm sorry, you'll be all right, I'm going now. I'm not coming back, I'm going now, you'll be okay. Go down to my car. Then a car came up the road, and I saw it stop at the top of the road, so she must have climbed over the wall, and they took her home, you know. She can't have been seriously injured, because she would have still been behind the wall, you know.
I've been watching, watched the rest of that documentary about you.
Did you think it was fair, or was it biased?
Well, did you attack that Marcella Claxton, a black girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they said that they didn't know whether to believe her or not. So it was you.
Yeah.
And the Ripper came at his next victim 60 miles away across the Pennines in Manchester. A post-mortem showed that days after the murder, the killer had returned to mutilate Jean Jordan's body still further and drag it to a more open position.
Jean Jordan was a...
Did that worry you?
A little bit when they come round questioning people at work and that, you know. They couldn't prove who'd got the £5 note.
On the night you were arrested, were you going to attack the girl you was with?
Of course I was. That was the whole point. Any other reason?
So you were on a mission that night?
Yeah. It was one of the times they said they questioned me, one of the 9 times, but it was only 8 times, really.
When that Wearside Jack, as they call him, you know, when he sent the tape, did you ever listen to it?
I heard it on television. They played it on the TV, you see. I said, thanks to God, you know, because you're guiding everything, you know. At the time when I believed, you know, that it was a miracle, I knew that, I believed that God had done that and got him to mislead him and everything, you know. No, I already believed I was being protected, you know, so it was a slight distraction for the police to be going up the northeast, you know. It wasn't all that important to me, really. It did slow things down a bit, you know.
Sutcliffe.
We were patrolling an area where prostitutes frequent. We saw a Rover car parked. As regards the vehicle, it came back that the vehicle was bearing false number plates. We then made other inquiries and ended up in arresting the 2 occupants.
Girl up, and they'd driven to a quiet spot. He told her his name was Dave. The couple didn't have sex.
On the night you were arrested, were you going to attack the girl you was with?
Of course I was. That was the whole point. Didn't pick him up for any other reason.
So you were on a mission that night?
Yeah.
They had caught the Yorkshire Ripper.
During a night of questioning by Ripper Squad detectives, Sutcliffe never cracked. Then one of the arresting officers had a hunch. He remembered that Sutcliffe had left the car to relieve himself while being questioned. He returned to the scene. It was now 24 hours later, and there, lying in the bushes, he found a hammer and a knife hidden.
When they caught me, you know, they shouldn't have let me go for a piss, because I didn't want a piss. I just wanted to hide the stuff, you know.
Did you hide some in the police station as well?
A knife. They're idiots, you know. I just said I'm going to use the toilet, so they didn't even search me before I went. The flushing cabinet at the top, you know, where the ball cock is. But they found it later on.
Why did you leave the car, said the detective. To relieve myself, said Sutcliffe. I think it was for another purpose, said the detective. I think you're leading up to the Yorkshire Ripper, said Sutcliffe. What about the Yorkshire Ripper, said the detective. Well, said Sutcliffe, it's me.
He is being questioned in relation to the Yorkshire Ripper murders.
Why?
Because I felt, oh, you know, it's just, it was all on too much strain all the time, you know.
Yeah, did you think that because I found the stuff, the game were up as such?
More or less, yeah.
Absolutely.
How did you feel when you got arrested? Were you relieved, do you think?
I was, when I finally told them it was me, you know.
Yeah.
I thought that's a huge burden gone off my shoulders, you know.
Right.
It was just a big relief. Went to an end, and I hoped it would, you know. It's the first time in British legal history that happened. The judges overturned the unanimous doctors thing, you know.
Yeah.
It was obviously biased. I should have appealed against the judge being biased in the first place, you know. Unanimous that it was schizophrenia. Anyway, he's long dead now, you know. I'm as good as any prisoner. I never caused any trouble. I've been a model prisoner and patient for all these years, you know. And I just put a foot around.
They said
If you've got a mental illness, you can come to terms with it and deal with it, you know, which is what I've already done. I'm totally sorted, you know.
Did you get attacked once in a prison before?
Yeah, half a broken coffee jar.
Yeah, where was that at Parkhurst or whatever
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
Yeah, it gives them a bit of status, doesn't it, you know?
Sutcliffe.
Shortly after he'd given evidence, Sutcliffe was taken out of the court and out of the courthouse. He was bundled into a yellow prison van escorted by 2 police cars, photographers struggling to take pictures.
I can't see him sending you back to prison, me. I just can't see it.
With my eyesight failing and diabetes, heart trouble, and going blind, you know.
Yeah.
And if they're so worried about me, why do they want to send me back to prison, you know? But it seems to me like they just want me off their hands.
Also tonight, the Yorkshire Rippers no longer mentally ill and could be back in prison after 31 years in Broadmoor.
Oh, I'm doing well. There's a lot of good lads here. I'm getting on well with everybody. And they've lent me coffee and tea and stamps and stuff, you know.
Oh, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, no, it's a lot better than Broadmoor. I only came round to my cell the other day and asked me if I could show him the pub of Quality Street that I'd got ready for Christmas. It gets around quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You used to dress effeminately with miniskirts on and...
Not prison mind them doing that.
No. Not if they're having a sex change. Because he had a pair of tits as well, you know?
Right. Yeah.
There's so much of that going on. There's some filthy sods in here, you know, buggery and all that sort of thing going on, you know. It's against the Bible's teaching and everything, you know. Oh. I just think sometimes, you know, with all these years I've spent inside, I start my 40th year on 3rd of January. Not enough for anybody, isn't it, really, you know. I'd be a model citizen out there, you know. If I get that squashed, that whole life tariff,
Yeah.
I'll be out on parole. So that's the biggest anchor, really, around the neck. Just spitefulness, really.
I was ringing his solicitor and doing work with that. But yeah, he thought I'd get out.
40 years ago. I mean, we should have a bit of compassion after such a long sentence, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Well over more than half my life I've been inside, you know? Ridiculous, really.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when they know how I feel, you know, how regretful I am and everything, you know. I wouldn't hurt a fly if I was outside, you know.
No.
I've changed completely, my beliefs and everything have changed, you know. But try and tell them to these thickheads, oh, you haven't done your psychology, oh, it's pathetic. I was lying there on a cold floor from 3:30 in the morning till 6:30 in the morning. And 5 minutes later, the tube came out of my catheter and I was sat there soaking wet with piss. Yeah, because you can't do nothing about this testicle. It's so swollen, it's massive leak. I keep collapsing there. Don't know why, just try to get out of bed and I just fall flat on the floor and I can't get up. I was up all night walking back and forward in my cell. I couldn't lie down.
Oh dear.
It's like being in hell, you know. The specialist came in to see me the other day and he was saying, would you want resuscitating if you died?
What, did you say no then?
Yeah.